Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's June 13th. It's amazing that it's another Monday already. I'm actually surprised at how fast this year is flying by. Um, but again, at the same time, I'm not surprised at how fast the year is flying by because so much is happening in my world, and I'm really excited of living my life because I'm living from this amazing place. And if you saw what this topic is about, it's about taking a leap of faith. It's learning to jump before you can see bottom, before you see the net, before you even know if you're going to land okay, without knowing how the ride is going to turn out. Hi, everyone. I am so excited again to be here with you. My name is Leslie Gadet, Mindset and Emotional Awareness Coach for mission driven women who love what they do in their corporate job, who also want to make a bigger impact in the world by pursuing their passion project, or maybe even exploring entrepreneurship. And I show them that it's possible to have both, that they don't have to choose, because when they develop an unstoppable mindset and learn to manage their emotions, which protects their time, they will have the possibility of keep doing what they love, getting things done more efficiently, adding more value to their life by, as I said, exploring that newness of adding something new that excites them, and they'll still have time to spend quality time with their loved ones. And I'm excited to talk to you about today's topic because it's really near and dear to my heart. It's something I had to do in order for me to start living my life my way. I had to take a leap of faith. In fact, my health, my life depended on it. And when I say my life depended on it, I truly, truly believed at the time that my life depended on me making that decision to jump without seeing the net, without knowing if I was going to land okay, without knowing if I was going to have scrapes along the way, but actually just saying, you know what, I'm doing it anyways, because the alternative to that was, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd still be here talking to you today, because I felt truly in that moment of desperation. I was full of despair. I was sad, angry, frustrated, irritated, resentful. I didn't know if I would be here today. I felt like I might actually have a heart attack. And so I truly, I believe this to my core, that I was on a fast track to not being here because my life just wasn't my own anymore. I was a slave to my time, because my story really is around taking back my time, taking back the only thing that I had control over. Well, I didn't have control over at the time, but I knew that if I didn't take back control over that piece of my life, that I wouldn't be here today. I just knew that. I felt it to my core. Again, I felt also that my marriage was in trouble because we didn't have a relationship. It was just, I felt more like roommates, just existing in the same space. And so for me, taking that leap of faith was taking a leap on a chance on me, and taking a leap without seeing the net was scary. Oh my gosh, it was so scary, but it was the most important decision of my life. I had to decide, was I willing to stay doing what I was doing, allowing my life to be managed by my time, allowing my life, hi, Hollis, was I willing to allow my life, my time to be the master of how I lived, and not having time for me, not having time for my relationship with my husband, not having time to spend with my family and my friends, not having a life at all, because my time was revolved around what I was doing for a living, which was I was working in a corporate job, in a corporate environment where most of my bulk of my time was dedicated to that. And anything left over, if I was lucky, was dedicated to spending a couple hours in front of the television at night with my husband, watching reruns of different types of shows. And I was so angry and upset and bitter. I was getting more bitter by the day. I was feeling so much despair. And I realized that this was no life. And the thing about this, one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you, I allowed this to be my life for 10 years almost, because I started thinking about I needed change, I wanted change, but I wanted change almost 10 years prior, but it became I needed a change so much later in my life, because that need became so, I became desperate to do something, but that something I didn't know. It was eluding me because I was allowing myself to believe that I couldn't figure it out. And I was scared. And I was really like afraid that my life was going to, this is how my life was going to be for the rest of my life, however long that life was going to be. I didn't know. Like I said, I felt like I was on a fast track to having a heart attack at a young age. You know, I was 54 at the time when it became a need for me to change my life. I had to take back something. I didn't know what that something was. And I still didn't know for the first few months of my 54th birthday, almost a whole year. Like basically, I met somebody in the summer of, 6 months of being, in my 55th year, I should say, because I wasn't yet 55, but I knew I needed something. And part of my journey was, okay, I got to do something. Something's got to give. And so I did the only thing that I could think of at the time was, let's do something like some physical activity to kind of get, to work off this anger and resentment, anxiety, despair, all of that, right? And I realized that that would help. But in my quest for that, I thought, well, I'm going to do something that I truly enjoyed. Years earlier, I had taken Pilates and it was life-changing for me. I loved it. And so I set up an appointment and I show up for this appointment and they're not there. The class has been canceled. And I was angry. I was thinking, like, you don't even have the common decency to call me, to at least email me and say it's changed, it's canceled, anything, nothing. And I sat outside and I was fuming. And I posted about this morning on my profile page. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at my post after this video, go and check it out. But I realized then that I saw over to the left of me, there was another structure, another building, and it had Orange Theory Fitness written on it. And I was curious. And as I'm watching and I'm looking at this, two women come around the corner because the door faced away from me. They came around the corner, started walking past me. And I asked them, what is that place? And they told me that it was a fitness facility, where it was a group fitness facility where coaches ran group trainings, physical trainings. And I thought, that's right up my alley. And I went and checked it out and I joined. I still, though, wasn't anywhere away from, this lifestyle I was living. And the lifestyle I was living was still, I was a slave to my time. So yeah, Saturdays were the only day I could find an hour of my time, my life, that I could devote to me. And that was going to Orange Theory Fitness and going to having this amazing camaraderie with the people there, but getting, an outlet to get rid of this stress and this anxiety and this anger and this resentment and all of the things emotions I was feeling. And in that, I started talking to a young lady there and started telling her my story about how I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I was just feeling so stuck. I couldn't figure it out. If you've ever felt that way, I know what that feels like. Like, you want something more. In fact, you need change, but you can't figure out what that change could even look like. And so you think, I don't know, I'll never figure it out. And you feel lost and you feel confused. And when I started talking to her about this, she said to me, well, I actually am involved with a group of women. And this is, we have this community and we do support each other. We celebrate each other. And I thought, wow, this is something for me to think about, something that I can get involved in. And when Jamie introduced me to her organization that she was a part of, it's called Arbonne. When I first, let me tell you, I'll back up a second. When she sent me the formal invite by text, I was skeptical and I didn't want to actually go. I thought, another one of those marketing schemes. Literally, that was my thought. But I then realized, I asked myself the question, if this was put in front of me for a reason, wasn't it? She was put in front of me for a reason, wasn't she? What do I have to lose by going and checking it out? I don't have to say yes to anything, but if I don't start saying yes to me, again, I don't know where my life is going to head. And I know I'm not happy. So I said yes. And I ended up going to a meeting that was amazing. I felt the energy, the love, the joy, the gratitude, all of that was made possible for me to experience. And I realized this is a group of women who celebrate each other. This is what it looks like to support each other, to inspire and encourage each other. So needless to say, I did become a consultant with them, but it didn't light me up. The passion wasn't there to build a business around that model, but that's okay. I love the products. I love what they stand for. I love the people that are involved in that, but it started me along my self-development journey. I started looking after me, but it's not just about that. That also made me realize that if I'm going to really take care of me, I have to take a leap of faith. And so I talked to my husband and I said, I can't do this anymore. This job is killing me. The way I'm working, it's killing me. And I feel like it's killing us. And so I said, we need to do something different. And we decided to drive from California 1 week. I took off from work. We drove to California. We found a place to stay, to live. We found a storage unit for some of our things. And we got our landlord to set up all of the connections for us for when we would come back in 2 weeks. Yes, I had already decided I was moving. I was leaving California. I had no other plan, but I had to do something. I was at that place where I needed change, because if I didn't know where I was going to be. And so I headed back to the office the following Monday and I said, I have something to tell you. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. And I've been working with them for 2 years. I said, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I need change. I need change from here because California isn't where it's at for myself and for my husband. We need change. We need to do something different, something better. But I also wasn't just going to leave it there. I worked with them and I negotiated with them. I was resourceful and we created a position for me that became a 90-day, period of like, let's see if this works, right? And I was scared because I'd made a decision to leave the only structured support that I knew, the real job that I had, and moving to another city where I knew nobody. And I realized it's okay. It's going to be okay because I'm good at what I do. And that job, that contractor position that was created for me, I'm going to rock it. And I have been for 4 years now. Amazing, right? It went from a 90-day transitional, let's check it out, maybe see if it works, to I help them. I support them. I love it. I'm doing what I love, what I'm good at, but I don't have the stresses of, like an hour, almost an hour commute to work in the morning if I leave at 6:30 in the morning, and over an hour to maybe a little bit over an hour if I leave late at night. Instead, now I work from home and I love it. And part of that was allowing myself to look outside. What can I do differently? How can I live my life from a place where it's from joy, where I'm fulfilled? And that was where I started on my self-development journey, my self-love journey, and I became a coach. But more importantly, the message here is I took a leap of faith because I believe that if I didn't, I knew where the negative repercussions, what that would look like. I didn't want that. I didn't see all full steam ahead what it would look like, but I knew it was going to be better than what the alternative was. And so I took that leap and I took back my time. The only thing I was actually able to do, even though I was a slave to my time, it was my master. Now I've learned to use time to my advantage, and it's become my friend. And I have time to have, to spend doing, working with those people and helping support that team of lawyers and paralegals. And then working with my clients and helping them see the vision for their lives, which is so possible. They're so worthy and deserving. And when they see that for themselves, they realize, oh, you mean I can have it all? I can really do what I love, whether it's like having this corporate job I love and adding something more to it, maybe looking at entrepreneurship, actually having time, using my time to my advantage, doing things more efficiently and timely, and having quality time to spend with my family. I can do that? The answer is yes. That's why taking a leap is so important. If you're sitting on the sidelines realizing that you were at that I want change, but now you're at that I need change, I know how that feels. I understand how that feels because I was there. I know how scary it is to actually make a decision without seeing if you're going to land okay, without knowing all the steps, without knowing if it's going to work out. But the alternative is worse. For me, it was worse. I knew that I could end up dead. Yes, from a heart attack. I knew that I could lose my marriage. And I've been married now 26 years, but I knew that if I didn't take a leap, something was going to give. So that's what I want for you to start thinking about. If you want change, if you want more, if you believe that if you don't take action now, if you don't take action now, the alternative is not a place you want to even consider, to even engage in, then I'm asking you today to start asking yourself the questions simply being, what's the possibility waiting for me on the other side of the bridge if I actually decide to say yes today to myself? Like, what could my life really look like? And what will happen if I say no? Will I have those regrets? And have I stopped myself from saying yes before, and now I have those regrets? And will I let fear of the unknown stop me from living my life? Am I okay with never taking a chance on me? That's what I want you to start asking yourself. If you are looking for more for your life and something's stopping you, it's time for you to ask yourself those questions so that you can get out of your own way and start living your life because you're worthy and deserving and capable. You're truly capable. And yes, fear of the unknown, fear is going to step in. And it doesn't mean that fear doesn't step in front of me at times, but it's being willing to step through that fear and go for it. Put yourself first. Do the things that you want for your life. So if that's you, then I get it. And I want to let you know that I do have something that I'm doing in July 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. I'll be going live. I'm going to be doing Zoom calls within a group that I call Build Your Extraordinary Life by Design. It's a 4-series masterclass that I am running, as I said, for the 4 Thursdays in July at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you want more details on that, just comment in the comments below and I'll send you the details. Don't stop yourself from living your life. Take that leap of faith for you because you're worth it. So on that note, remember to navigate your day with an attitude of gratitude, because with the right attitude, you will be in the right mindset for when life throws her curveballs or puts up those roadblocks in your way. You'll be in a better frame of mind to manage your emotional trigger moments. I hope you have a great rest of your day, a fantastic week, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.